Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Blizzard recently announced the new maps for the third season of 2020 and we're gonna have a quick preview. So the maps that will stay in are Submarine, Death Aura and Pillars of Gold, and then onto that are 4 new maps, and we're gonna start with Jagannatha LE. Alright, starting with the first map, Jagannatha LE. This map has a proper Reaper wall, which is nice for Protoss players, a little less nice for Terran players as it's very easy to wall out the Reaper without the Reaper being able to see the tech. The wall on the natural is relatively easy against Zerg. There's no real tricky walls in this map pool. I checked all 4 of the maps and they seem pretty doable, so here's the wall for this. Now, if we take a look at the rest of the map, you see these cool acceleration zones in the middle. I believe the main 2 that are going to be used are just kind of the middle ones. They might allow for faster rotations either towards the 4th or 5th base of the Zerg or of the Terran or of the Protoss, whatever race you're playing against. And it might be a little bit of an attacker's advantage rather than a defender's advantage, because these offensive rotations might be very dangerous. On top of that, we have a really cool proxy location close to the main base. We can think perhaps a proxy starboard for a Hellion drop, which has been very popular in the recent meta, or in a PvP or even a PvZ, perhaps a cheeky proxy Stargate. Well, we could actually do it in PvT as well, who am I kidding? And as an absolute wildcard, of course, perhaps some type of proxy Tempest might be possible, even though the minerals seem a little bit hard to reach from there. Now, if we take a look at the base layout, we see that there's no real space between the main and the natural for anything to stand in a dead space there, but between the natural and the third, if you do take that line third base, there is a medevac spot there that actually can't be reached by Stalker. So be careful there against medevacs and maybe even oracles or banshees to chill over there. A raven could be very annoying as well. Perhaps might be more useful to take the triangle base or the line. Which one that will be? Perhaps against Terran you go for the triangle, maybe against Zerg you go for the line as a Protoss player. I'm expecting Zerg to initially open with the line, then take the triangle base as a 4th, and then perhaps even the very far left base as the 5th. In general on this map, I think 5th bases will be pretty tricky to take for most races, as they seem pretty far away, and there's a lot of good dead spaces where either prisms or medevacs or a banshee or something like that could idle. So be careful of those. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this map. It seems exciting. There's no watchtowers, which means that usually the less watchtowers there are, the less passive play. So I'm expecting some real fire on this map with that offensive advantage, the quick rotations with the acceleration zones. I'm looking forward to some good games on this map. Alright, second map is going to be Oxide Alley. It's a very bright looking map, a bit snowy. I honestly like the look. I'm not quite sure how there's grass growing in this snowy area, but you know, we'll leave that to the map makers. Now, the Reaper wall on this map is a little bit tricky, so if you're not quite sure how to do it, just experiment with it a little bit. I show you here how to do it exactly, but I did need to mess around with it a little bit. The wall on the natural, once again, relatively straightforward, pretty much like every other wall, just 3 big buildings, making sure that you have a 3x3 spot behind those as well, so you can re-wall with either a cyber core or a gateway if necessary against a link flood or a baneling bust. Now, important to note on this map is that between the natural and the third base there is once again a spot for a medevac, and also behind the main there is a spot for the medevac with a lot of space. Once again, Raven, medevac, Banshee, Oracle, all could be dangerous back there. So definitely something to be afraid of. A lot of Stargate play, most likely going to be in the books here in the upcoming season. If I take a look at these maps, third base very far away as well from the natural. In PvT that might be an issue. In PvZ we could perhaps see some roach pushes in areas where the super battery does not reach, because don't forget, your battery needs to be in range of a nexus. I believe we're going to be seeing a lot of line expanding here for the Protoss, maybe even all the way down or up to the 4th base, but it's possible you take that in the more triangle formation as well, and then perhaps a gateway wall on the side. 5th base, once again, difficult to hold. All of these maps really promoting aggressive 4 base plays, in my opinion. So just expect a lot of quicker games, no passive snooze fest like we were used to on, for example, Eternal Empire, where bases were really easy to keep. Even a map like Everdream, the first 5 bases were relatively easy, but here you need to fight for every single 5th base, and I'm honestly quite a fan of these changes. I'm a big fan of these first 2 maps for sure. So let's head straight into the third one. Alright, here we go on Oxide Alley. Now this map, once again, Reaper Wall, completely possible, even though once again it's a little bit tricky, so pay close attention to how I did it here exactly. Wall against Zerg down at the natural, very straightforward, similar to Golden Wall I think it was, just a 3x3 wall. You move one of the structures a bit to the left and you completely wall it off. Now do note that there's a ramp going down, so perhaps in PvP we will be seeing some 1 gate expanding, some Nexus first on this map. Furthermore, if we take a look at the area between the natural and the third, once again, good location for a medevac. Behind that main base, once again, a location for that medevac to chill. A lot of that space around the bases, so Terran players will be quite happy to leave a unit in there in that PvT matchup. Third base, far away, similar to Golden Wall, where you have these 2 ramps leading down into this lower space that you might need to defend in order to defend one of the 2 bases. So it's just going to be very hard defensively, I think, against Terran to play this map. 4th base, pretty far away. 5th base seems more like a pipe dream, honestly. I don't quite see how most racers are going to be able to take an easy 5th base. So once again, we're going to really be working with these 4 bases, maybe even these 3 base pushes, trying to get as much out of our army as possible. And once again, PvT, I'm feeling a lot of Stargate play here. Another thing that I might want to mention, the moment on any map there is a line base formation for the first 3 bases, that usually makes it harder for the Protoss player to do any kind of harassment with the early 2 oracles in PvZ. So you always got to be very careful there, because if it does happen like that, you're not going to be seeing as many probe or as many drone kills with those early oracles, and that definitely could be an issue. Now, is there any good proxy locations on this map? I mean, there's lots of locations in which you can proxy, but there's not a really clear winner here. You might see a proxy Stargate close to the main base, but I mean, that's going to be possible on most maps. Overall, once again, a map that promotes aggressive play, harass-based play, so I'm going to be a fan, even though I'm going to be very afraid of the Terrans here. Looking forward to playing it, though. Alright, the final new map in the map pool. Beautiful map, Romanticide, these beautiful pink colors, these pink trees all around the map. Really cool color theme, but of course that's not really what I care about. What I do care about is that there's no viable Reaper wall here. At least I couldn't find it. If any of you guys can find a decent Reaper wall, including just a pylon, a gate and a cybercore, I'd love to see it, but I did not manage to do it. Natural wall against Zerg, gonna be rather easy, not much of an issue. The only base, or the only map that forces triangle bases to be taken immediately, and then afterwards you have this choice between this forward 4 space with that rich gas, which you can take by mining away those 10 minerals on the small patches between the 3rd and the 4th. You can take it on the right side, or you can even take a forward 4th base. So there's really 3 choices for 4th bases. I wouldn't be surprised to see Zergs take that rich gas a lot, to see Protoss take that base that is further close to the 3rd base, really in that kind of line formation from the 2, 3, 4. And maybe Terrans want to take a more aggressive 3rd even, so they won't even go for the triangle. So really a lot of options when it comes to bases, a lot of different decisions, and I can see this map play out in a lot of different ways. I'm not quite sure how. I do think that Oracle play on this map is going to be very strong. You can see a lot of good rotations, pretending to go into the 3rd and go into the main, or perhaps even fly in between the main and the 3rd base and go towards the natural. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for damage right there. Now, once again, behind the main there is a spot where the medevac can chill, and I'm gonna be very afraid of that. There's a spot between the main and the 3rd where the medevac can chill, and I'm gonna be afraid of that. And there's a massive area behind the natural where a medevac or a banshee can relax as well. So once again, in PvT, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Stargate play here. So if you're not that great with your Stargate play, perhaps it's time to brush off your old Oracles, your old Phoenixes, and get going, because it's going to be very important in the upcoming map pool. For the rest of it, a couple of rocks on the map that open up attack paths, especially from that forward 4th base with the rich gas. You can also mine the minerals or remove the rocks. If you kill all the rocks on the map, This map kind of looks like a Zerg heaven, but before that is done, I can see some tank pushes work here as well, and there's a couple of small bridges which do provide some nice chokes, either for force fields or for marine tank to push through, a couple of mines perhaps to close off certain areas. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to play this map. Don't forget, all of the maps have very big main bases, so be sure to scout around the edges for proxies. Make sure you always have vision, so drops can't surprise you, or a floating factory for that matter. And that's gonna be it for Romanticide, and that's also gonna be it for me. If you did enjoy this video, please like this, as that helps me out a lot. And also, if you have your own opinion on the map, don't forget to leave that down behind in the comments, as I'm very curious what you guys have to say about these maps, especially after you've played them. I'm not too interested about what you guys have to say if you haven't played them yet, but have a look at the maps, just run around in them and then think, huh, this looks interesting. This is what I want to tell the YouTube comment. After you've done that, don't forget to share this beautiful video with all your friends as well, and hit the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.